The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised. In 5, 4, 3, 2, live now.
Don't know Mike, I don't know what you're talking about. Hey everybody, he's Matthew. Now that you're listening to Mike Trash, TrashTalkingRadio.com, the best in the business. Say it to Matthew.
Wrestling fans throughout radio land, listen to Trash Talking Radio at TrashTalkingRadio.com every Tuesday from 7 to 10 o'clock. Here's guys like myself, so you gammon guys come out. That's my food. Yeah. The best part, that Trash Talking Radio show from the 7 to whenever we get done is by using a screwdriver. Rose, see, this is motivation, the other half of the rock and wrestling session. That's the tacky one and the losing one together forever. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ivan Koloff. I'm here to tell you about Mike Talking Trash. The trash, 7 to 10. Tuesday night, you got to listen in. It's the best around, the best in town. Mike Taylor, the animal, one after the problem is making the world more living yourself. If you know it could be your rest of Trash Talking Radio, or now. Everybody, you're watching Trash Talking Radio. This is Mike Talking Radio. What do you got to say about Trash Talking Radio? I just say that I just love Trash Talking Radio. You're proud of the things you do. This is my show, and you better watch just what you're going to do. When I'm all to respect Trash Talking Radio, what's wild on you?
This is the Vital Idol, and you're listening to Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10 on TrashTalkingRadio.com. And remember this, the Vital Idol tells you it's got to be true. And when it's on the internet, it's got to be real. It's Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10. I am the top of pop, the king of swing, the international rock star, way above par, the host with the most, Mr. Tuesday Night, the Vital Idol, Classy Mike Trash, and thank you very much. It's Trash Talking Radio. It's Tuesday night. It's the best night of the week. At least that's what I'm told. At least that's what I usually say. Could be propaganda, though. Right?
That's right. Can't trust anything you say.
Trust every. Oh, that's good. That's, you know, you got to trust me. I would never steer you wrong. Oh, I guess I still got to change the banner. Hold on there. Doggone it. Maybe there was something I forgot. Let's see, that's the green one. So we'll go to this one. Let's see, that's this one. There we go. Now we're at least current. Okay. Well, another week. Hey, there's Christine. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so here we are. We got all kinds of stuff going on now. Let's see. We'll go through. I know you're not going to know these guys, so I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna give you a lot of crazy pictures because I didn't link the stuff again, but we'll do the birthdays and then we'll do some other stuff that happened that
Oh, I got this whole screen now that I got you over on this computer, I got this whole screen to use. Ah, I might just use that. Oh, I didn't even do a sound check. You want to do a sound check? Do a check.
Check, check, check. 1,
Okay.
2, 1, 2.
All right, we got you. You're running a little late already. Oh man. Okay. So let me do the birthdays so I can get them off the screen here because there aren't a lot of them, and you probably don't know a lot of these guys because they're not people that, unless you watched certain TV. And I know you don't watch a lot of TV. So let's start off with Vincent Pastore. Do you know who he is?
Not a clue.
Did you watch Sopranos?
No.
Okay, that's why you don't know. That's the thing I know him for. Well, he's 79. Actually, why don't we get a screen up here so I can put pictures of people up here. Let's see. All right, there we go. Let's open this up. And put here. All right, there we go. He played a mob guy. He's been in other things too, but the thing I know him for mainly is The Sopranos, and he's been on Goodfellas. They talk about getting typecast, because he's in a lot of mob movies. Gotti. So he is 79 as of today. And well, not that as of today, as of this week. How about Rosie Greer? You remember him?
No.
Really? I think he was a football player turned actor.
Oh, Rosie Greer?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong about that, but let's see. There he is, Rosie Greer.
LA Rams.
Was he? Okay. Well, he's 93. That's weird to think of being 93. Okay, Forrest Whitaker.
Doesn't ring a bell.
He is a pretty big actor. Okay, I'm having problems copying and pasting, so I'm just going to type it in. There he is. He's in a lot of movies. He was in what was that movie? He was in that movie. It was a guy in the Middle East that he was playing. He played Nelson Mandela. He played. He was in Star Wars. And I can't. Idi Amin. He played him. So he's played a lot of cool characters, and I like that guy a lot. But he's 64. For some reason, I thought he was older than that, but I don't know. He's doing well though. He was in Bird, Ghost Dog, Butler, Black Panther, Rogue One. So he has a lot of pretty good credits. All right, next one. You'll know her name probably, but probably won't know why you know her name. Bridget Nielsen.
Okay.
Or maybe you won't know her name. She, if I'm not mistaken, she has something to do with Stallone, I think, or something. Why do I know her? For some reason, I didn't want that again. Okay, try it again. I like it better when I have them already in the database. And for some reason, her name didn't copy. good copy this time. Okay, now we got it. There she is. Maybe she, yeah, I thought so. She has a relationship with, okay, Danish model, singer, actress, reality personality. I guess she isn't with him anymore, maybe. I thought for some reason she was. Oh, okay. Okay, let's find out what happened to them. They were married after the release of the film in '85. They divorced eventually. Okay. Well, she used to be with him. shows how well I know my Hollywood people. Taylor Kinney, you probably don't know him, but he's from Pennsylvania, and he's in a show called Chicago FD. Actually, I like that show a lot. Anyway, he's the heartthrob on that show, or at least he was. So I don't know if you watch Chicago FD or not, but it's a pretty good show. Well, he was in a lot of stuff I didn't know he was in. Huh. That's interesting. He's a pretty good actor. Then there is Jesse Ventura. I know you know who he is.
Yes, and for president.
Governor Jesse. He's actually made appearances on WWE recently. They were in his city, and I guess they had him there. Now that Vince isn't there, he'll be more apt to be there, I think. Let's see. There he is. 74. Let's see. Oh, his real name is not Jesse. His real name is James. Huh. Okay. I didn't know that. Then we got Will Ferrell. You know who he is?
Yes.
All right, there we go. There's one you know. Might be the first one the second one you knew today. He is 58.
I was going to guess 52.
That would have been pretty close. I was thinking he was older than that for some reason. Yeah. Let's see. Then we got Rosa I don't even know who she is. I'll skip her. Phoebe Cates.
No.
Really? You don't know her? Okay. I guess I should realize you don't watch TV. Or not like me. She's a gorgeous woman. I can't believe she's 62. I think that women should not be allowed to age past 45, maybe 50. Most of them probably don't. Most of them won't admit it. Let's see. Oh, there's Anne. I didn't think you were out there. Of course, we're running a little late, so that could be part of it. Then we got. Who we got? Oh, I know you don't know this guy. He was on Fear the Walking Dead. His name is Ruben. Oops. Come on. Ruben Blades. I think that's him. For some reason. Yep, that's him. He's 77. And two more. Corey Feldman. He was one of the Brat Packs back in the day. He got in all kinds of trouble and cleaned himself up, and then he that's not what I wanted. There we go. He's 54. Then he got himself all cleaned up and started doing music and stuff like that, and he's 54 now. And then lastly, Chris Pontius. Do you know who he is?
No, not a clue.
Jackass. He's one of the Jackass boys. And if you'd ask me how old he would live to be, I would say not as old as he is, because those guys do crazy stuff. He's 51. So, all right. That was the most awkward birthday thing I've done so far. All right. Next one. All right. Usually a little more organized than this, but take it up with HR. All right. Connie Francis died. Do you remember her?
Yeah.
She was a pretty popular singer when we were kids. And she was actually a singer from the 50s and 60s, I think. Anyway, I did a where we at? Obituary for her. Where is it? There it is. And here we go.
Connie Francis, iconic pop vocalist of the 1950s.
One problem with using this thing is it plays in a corner. All right, there we go. So she actually died a couple weeks ago, and I didn't get to get hers done. And I started working on hers yesterday. And then I had another guy who had died yesterday, so I did his. I was working on his today. I was working on hers today. And then another died after that, so we'll get to all of those, all three of those. All right, here we go.
Connie Francis, iconic pop vocalist of the 1950s and 60s, died at 86. Born December 12, 1937. Died July 16, 2025. Connie Francis, the trailblazing pop singer whose emotional ballads and multilingual performances helped shape the sound of post-war American music, has died at the age of 86. Known for her unmistakable voice, timeless hits like Who's Sorry Now, and her deep connection to audiences around the world, Francis leaves behind a legacy that transcends generations and borders. Born Conchetta Rosa Maria Francanero on December 12, 1937, in Newark, New Jersey, Connie Francis grew up in an Italian-American household steeped in music. She began performing as a child, appearing on Arthur Godfrey's talent show and releasing her first records as a teenager. Her big break came in 1958, when a last-minute decision to record the 1920s standard, Who's Sorry Now, became a massive success, catapulting her to international fame after it was featured on Dick Clark's American Bandstand. Career highlights and achievements. First female pop star of the rock era, Connie Francis is widely recognized as the first woman to achieve major stardom in the early rock and roll era, breaking through in a male-dominated industry. Chart-topping hits. Scored 35 top 40 hits in the U.S. between 1958 and 1964, including Where the Boys Are, Everybody's Somebody's Fool, the first song by a female artist to reach number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, My Heart Has a Mind of Its Own, Lipstick on Your Collar, Stupid Cupid, Where the Boys Are, 1960, not only a hit single, but also a feature film in which Francis starred, cementing her dual status as a singer and actress. The song became an anthem for a generation of young women and helped usher in the spring break culture in Fort Lauderdale. Multilingual recording. A polyglot and musical ambassador, Francis recorded in over a dozen languages, including Italian, Spanish, German, Hebrew, Japanese, and Yiddish. She enjoyed global success in countries across Europe, Asia, and Latin America. Pioneering female performer, she was among the first American singers to tour internationally at a large scale and perform in Las Vegas, paving the way for other female entertainers. Television specials and film roles, featured on numerous TV variety shows, including The Ed Sullivan Show, The Perry Como Show, and hosted her own specials. She also appeared in a series of musical films throughout the 1960s. Philanthropic advocacy. After surviving a violent assault in 1974 and battling mental health struggles. Francis became a passionate advocate for mental health awareness, victims' rights, and rape prevention legislation. She worked with Congress to pass the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act in the 1990s. Memoir and Return to Stage. Her 1984 memoir, Who's Sorry Now, was a bestseller and marked a return to the public eye. She resumed live performances in the U.S. and abroad, drawing fans across generations. Lifetime honors. Inducted into the Long Island Music Hall of Fame and recipient of countless international awards. Her influence is acknowledged by artists ranging from Barbra Streisand to Cyndi Lauper. A voice that endured. Connie Francis's music remains a fixture on oldies radio and streaming platforms, with many of her tracks considered pop standards. Her voice, clear, heartfelt, and instantly recognizable, embodied both teenage heartache and adult longing. Though she withdrew from public life in her later years, Connie Francis's songs remained a source of comfort and nostalgia for millions. She was not just a singer of songs, but a chronicler of emotions, giving voice to those in love, in loss, and in hope. She is survived by extended family, lifelong fans, and a towering catalog of recordings that continue to inspire new generations. Funeral arrangements are expected to be private, with a public musical tribute being planned in Newark later this year.
I mean, that woman really went through a lot. To think that she became an advocate for, women's abuse, not for women's abuse, but for abused women, and she paved a lot of roads for a lot of people. Kind of think that's cool. You still there?
Thanks.
Oh, there you are. Okay. There's a little lag going on here, and I'm not sure it's there's something wrong with our signal, even going to the YouTube and to the. I'm glad I didn't sign up a third one. I was working on signing the third one up when you got a hold of me. I was going to put Twitch back on, but I'm glad I didn't because we're having streaming issues a little bit. But anyway, yeah, she seemed to be a pretty interesting person. What's that? The next one. Did you ever watch The Cosby Show?
Yeah, I did.
All right. The next one is from The Cosby Show, and it's not Bill. Hold on here. I might get this back down. Huh? Oh, there we go. Okay. This one I couldn't get it to come on to our normal stream, but he died today, or no, yesterday. Very unexpected.
Malcolm Jamal Warner, star of The Cosby Show and award-winning artist, dies at 54. Born August 18, 1970. Died July 20, 2025. Malcolm Jamal Warner, the acclaimed actor, director, poet, and Grammy-winning musician best known for his top role in Theo Huxtable's Cosby Show, has died at the age of 54. According to representatives and news reports, Warner tragically passed away on July 20, 2025, following an accidental drowning while on vacation with family in Costa Rica. A familiar face to movies from Warner age, Warner embodied the image of the model American son William Shakespeare around The Cosby Show, a series that helped redefine the family sitcoms and representation on television during the 1980s. Career highlights and achievements. Breakthrough as Theo Huxtable, 1984 to 1992. At just 14 years old, Warner was cast as Theo Huxtable, the witty, often relatable son of Cliff and Claire Huxtable on NBC's The Cosby Show. The role earned him an Emmy nomination, making him one of the youngest African-American actors to be honored in that era. The show reached over 30 million weekly viewers at its peak, changing how television portrayed Black families, fatherhood, and middle-class life. Expanding into directing. transitioned behind the camera, directing episodes of The Cosby Show, All That, Keenan and Kel, and Malcolm and Eddie. His directing career expanded to include social awareness campaigns, educational PSAs, and music videos. He was praised for using his platform to uplift underrepresented voices and mentor young artists with age. After Beyond the Sitcom, co-starred in the UPN comedy Malcolm and Eddie, 1996-2000, a fan favorite that earned an NAACP Image Award nomination. Delivered dramatic performances in shows like Dexter, Sons of Anarchy, Suits, 911, and most recently as Dr. H.A. Austin on Fox's medical drama Director, where he earned critical acclaim. He voiced the producer on The Magic School Bus, teaching generations of children through edutainment. Spoken word, music, and Grammy recognition. A passionate spoken word artist, Warner released multiple poetry albums and performed at festivals and colleges across the country. In 2015, he won a Grammy Award for Best Traditional R&B Performance for his collaboration with Robert Glasper and Layla Hathaway on Jesus Children, originally written by Stevie Wonder. He was a skilled bass guitarist and frequently blended music, poetry, and social commentary into his live performances. Personal advocacy and mentorship. Warner used his platform to champion mental health in Black communities, advocate for artistic education, and discuss the complexities of growing up in the spotlight. In recent years, he hosted the podcast Not All Hood, where he discussed fatherhood, fame, and identity with authenticity and depth. Legacy. Malcolm Jamal Warner was more than a television star, he was a cultural touchstone. A gifted artist with wisdom beyond his years, he evolved gracefully in an industry that rarely gives space for young Black actors to grow. Whether through music, mentorship, or meaningful storytelling, Warner dedicated his life to creative excellence. He is survived by his partner, their young daughter, and a devoted community of family, friends, colleagues, and fans around the world. A private memorial will be held by the family, with a public celebration of life to be announced in the coming weeks.
He was so. I liked him in everything I've seen. Like I used to watch The Resident, and he was really good in that. I really liked his character. He was obnoxious, and he was, just really good. I loved it. I'm sorry that one didn't come out audio wise because the music was a little loud in the first 2/3 of it, and when I listened to it, it didn't sound that bad, but it did. It did this time. So. And lastly,
How old is he? 58?
54, I think. I believe.
54.
Yeah, he was really young. He died he drowned. So that was sad. Yeah, he would have been 55 if he had made it to his birthday. So yeah, he was freaking young, and he did it all. He directed, he produced, he acted. We knew him from acting mostly, but I didn't know he did the other things. But it's really cool that he did do the other things. But what a shame. I mean, to think that he died way too early. So that's a shame. Yet we still have Bill Cosby. Do you understand? I don't understand why that happened, but yeah, I thought he was a good actor, and I watched some of the things that he did, some of the shows that he worked on, and I liked most of the stuff all the stuff I watched of him, I liked it. So, and I didn't know he was a musician. So, how many times did I need a bass player? Anyway, yeah, that's a shame. Then, lastly but not leastly, I feel really bad about this one because it's been a while since any of these actually made me upset. This is one that made me upset, and it's because when I was a kid, Ozzy's one of the people that made me want to be a musician and made me want to do do heavy rock. I mean, before him, I never listened to heavy rock. The heaviest I listened to was Alice Cooper, but a lot of stuff was out there, and when he came into the scene, it was like, this is weird listening to this, because this is so different from everything else. And we did talk about why couldn't he die the week we did Black Sabbath?
Yeah, that would have been.
Well, I think now I understand a little bit better why they did that Ozzy thing a couple weeks ago, because they knew he wasn't going to last. And actually, I think I now understand also how sick he was. So that's probably why they rushed it. And I can't get out of this screen. Why is it I can't get out of this screen? There we go. All right. Lastly, we'll watch Ozzy. Makes me sad.
Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness,
Oh, by the way,
died at
I have a
76.
special correspondent on this one. I got a British correspondent. So you can't do him as a we can't have an American talk about him. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. This is the one I was working on last minute. Well, I worked on
Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness, dies at 76. Born December 3rd, 1948. Died July 22nd, 2025. John Michael Ozzy Osbourne, the iconic frontman of Black Sabbath and one of rock's most influential and controversial figures, has died at the age of 76. Known around the world as the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne rose from the gritty streets of Birmingham, England, to become one of heavy metal's defining voices and most electrifying performers. His unmistakable voice, wild stage antics, and unapologetic attitude earned him global fame and a career that spanned over 5 decades. A trailblazer of metal, Ozzy first found fame as the lead singer of Black Sabbath, the pioneering heavy metal band formed in 1968. With Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward, Ozzy helped usher in a darker, heavier sound that would define the metal genre. Albums like Paranoid, 1970, Master of Reality, 1971, and Volume 4, 1972, remain seminal works, with classic tracks such as War Pigs, Iron Man, and Black Sabbath securing the band's place in rock history. After parting ways with Black Sabbath in 1979, Ozzy launched a wildly successful solo career. His debut album, Blizzard of Oz, 1980, featured hits like Crazy Train and Mr. Crowley, and introduced guitar virtuoso Randy Rhoads. Osbourne's solo discography continued to grow with chart-topping albums, including Diary of a Madman, No More Tears, and Osmosis. Cultural icon and reality TV star, Ozzy's influence extended beyond music. He became a pop culture phenomenon with the early 2000s hit reality show, The Osbournes, which offered an uncensored, often hilarious glimpse into the chaotic lives of the Osbourne family. The show introduced Ozzy to a new generation and made him a household name far beyond the rock scene. His Ozfest tour, founded with wife Sharon Osbourne in 1996, became one of the most successful and longest-running touring festivals in metal history, providing a stage for both legendary and emerging acts. Awards and accolades. Throughout his career, Osbourne amassed numerous awards and honors. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, Easy Indica, Briquet Music Hall of Fame inductee. Despite a persona marked by outrageous behavior from biting the head off a bat to being banned from San Antonio after urinating on the album, Ozzy was beloved for his vulnerability, humor, and candor. He was open about his lifelong battles with addiction and health issues, facing them with resilience and dark wit. In his final years, Osbourne courageously dealt with a series of health setbacks, including Parkinson's disease, spinal surgeries, and the effects of decades of hard living, yet he never let illness define him. In interviews and public appearances, he remained brutally honest, charmingly self-deprecating, and eternally rock and roll. Ozzy Osbourne leaves behind a legacy unlike any other. He was more than a rock star. He was a symbol of rebellion, perseverance, and transformation. His music influenced countless artists, and his persona reshaped what it meant to be a rock legend. He is survived by his wife Sharon Osbourne, his children Amy, Kelly, and Jack, and an indelible legacy of sound, spectacle, and spirit. His music, mischief, and myth will echo for generations. You can't kill rock and roll, it's here to stay. Here's Ozzy Osbourne. Funeral arrangements will be announced by the Osbourne family.
Saddens me. But you never know. You don't know when your time's up, man. You just don't know. I didn't realize, and I'm sure nobody realized, that he was that close to the end. Talk about going out on your terms. I mean, I'm sure those were what he wanted. He loved to. But if you watch, did you watch that? Did you watch any of it? It was on YouTube.
Yeah.
The tributes were really, really good. And when he sang, he couldn't stand up. He sounded horrible. I mean, I've never heard him sound so bad. But it really makes sense now because he was on his last legs. And, it just saddens me because at one time he was my favorite. And yeah, he was a one-of-a-kind guy. And now I'll never get to meet him. Well, till the afterlife, then it's hit or miss whether I meet him, because who knows where he is. But yeah, it's weird. You know, I made a correlation when we talked about Judas Priest. I didn't realize, for some reason I was thinking that Rob Halford was around my age. But one of the things that we learned during that thing was that Rob Halford, or Judas Priest, was good friends with Tony Iommi and Black Sabbath and stuff, and they started their careers at the same time. I didn't make that correlation till we actually did that little tribute. So, really interesting. Okay, well that's enough of the sadness. I got to remix that one because that one on Malcolm is really good and needs to be out there. For some reason, I couldn't get that one to play on my player either, and I don't know why it wouldn't play. Anyway, so that's three technically musical people because Malcolm is also a musician. So, all right, there we go. That's done. All right, let's go through and knock some of these things out here. The Office. Did you ever watch The Office?
Yeah, once in a while.
Okay.
It was not a step, so to speak.
They have a spin-off called The Paper. It's going to premiere on Peacock. I don't know who's going to be in it. I don't know much more than that, except that they're going to do that same, I guess, format, for lack of a better word. You know, a lot of people got famous from that show too.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people on that show are doing pretty well without that show. So that's an interesting thing, I think. Also, so it says September 4th is the premiere on Peacock of The Paper. Let's see here. So I guess they're going to still, I don't really know what they're going to do. I'm thinking they're, going to be using the same ideas. But, if you have a paper company in 2025, you're not going to make a lot of money. People only use paper. I remember when they told me originally that we were going to get into paperless stuff. I was thinking, well, that sounds cool. I'd like that. Little did I know how much difference if you were selling paper. You were not going to be making a whole lot of money. So, I find that funny. But anyway, the mockumentary, The Paper, has a premiere date. Their show, which serves as a follow-up to The Office, will debut its First 4 episodes on September 4th, followed by 2 more episodes every Thursday through September 23rd. The official logline is for the paper states the documentary crew that immortalized Dunder Mifflin's Scranton branch is in search of a new subject when they discover a historic Midwestern newspaper and the publisher trying to revive it. So that's what it's all about. So we'll see how it works. All right, next. Paul McCartney. That guy never dies. That guy, I swear. If I were to say who do I think in the music world would go, I would have thought him and Mick Jagger would be up there. But they made the deal with the devil anyway, so they got unlimited time on this planet, I guess. Really, no, seriously, I really think it's interesting they're out there touring as hard as they are. And actually, you have Netflix, right?
Yes.
There's a documentary I started watching. The next episode is Friday on Billy Joel. They have a really interesting documentary on him, and it talks about him from his the first segment talked about him till I think the mid '90s, and they're going to start again then and go maybe till current time. If you like Billy Joel, you'll want to watch that. It's really interesting. It talks about him how he wanted to get into he didn't even graduate from high school because he wanted to be a musician. And he's one of those guys that put it all on the line. It's all or nothing. He made it, and he wasn't making money even though he was out there playing all the time. He still was broke. It's funny because we talk about that every week. We talk about the bands that started with nothing and went through their lives with nothing, even though they were famous. So that was very interesting. In fact, one of the bands we're going to talk about today, are we still talking about it?
Yeah.
Okay. I did not watch the documentary again because I was so busy doing these 3, but I have good notes on it, so I'm good for it. Yeah, we'll be talking about Metallica. So if you're a Metallica fan, hey Christine, how you doing? So we'll talk about Metallica, and we'll talk about the trials and tribulations of being in Metallica. Boy, talk about a band that has controversy. That is a band that has controversy. So, all right, next. Well, says Ozzy Osbourne's final performance with Black Sabbath raises $190 million for charity. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
One day. That's crazy. I mean, and they had a lot of great names. Did you watch that or you didn't?
What?
The Ozzy thing.
You froze.
Oh, the Ozzy Osbourne thing? Did you watch any of it?
No, I could watch it now.
Okay, it was on there's a lot of clips on YouTube. That's what I watched it on. Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne passed. That's that's what we were just talking about, and actually we just play a tribute to him too. Yeah, the tributes were really, really good, and so he got to go out on a high, I think, and that'd be awesome to be able to see all these people play your music and love your music and all that. That's awesome. Anyway, all right. So Billy Joel, yeah, the trailer from Journey from classical music to Uptown Girl. That's what that HBO. Oh, I'm sorry, it's on HBO. It's not on Netflix. Forgot about that. I got them both, so I just thought for some reason I was thinking it was on Netflix, but it isn't. So, Let's see here. All right, next. Oh, I did miss one person that died that I didn't do a thing on. It said David Kaff, actor and musician best known for starring role in This Is Spinal Tap, dies at 79. All those guys that did Spinal Tap, they're all in their 70s now. That's crazy. Did you see Spinal Tap?
Yeah.
It was a spoof on being a musician, and they had their big gimmick was their drummers always would spontaneously combust out of nowhere. So they'd be playing, then you hear this poof, and then they were gone. Michael McKean's in that, and they had some pretty good people in that. Your Hairspray days. that would be funny. Yeah, when women used to puff their hair up and stuff. Let's see. James Gunn. Okay, so he is the guy that's the reason for the new Superman movie. He basically redid everything about Superman. He wrote the script. He made sure it was all good and stuff. Let me bring this up here. Okay. James Gunn's Superman movie is corny, which is why it gets Superman right. Christine says she wants to see the movie, mostly because of the dog, I think. But says, before I saw James Gunn's new Superman movie, which sets out to lay the cornerstone of a new era of DC superhero characters, I was pessimistic. Over the years as a critic, I've loved a few Gunn projects for their humor and cleverness, Slither, Guardians of the Galaxy, but more recently hated others. He doesn't like Peacemaker. I like Peacemaker, and doesn't like Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So far I like most of the stuff that James Gunn has been involved in. But I've spent far more years as a Superman fan. And let's see here. What's his point? Let's see. The Red Trunk Diaries. The first word we see in Superman say on screen, he mutters to himself, having had his big red butt entirely handed to him in a fight, is golly. Okay. Yeah, that's not a good. Wouldn't want that. Later, Lois Lane makes fun of his taste in music. When questioned about his reasons for performing a certain super deed that saved thousands of lives, his response is incredibly, why, I mean to do good. Do you know good? At one point, he's gloating over a fallen foe. He launches an impassioned speech about his abject love of humanity and his own all-too-human fallibility. Well, what's his point? Does he like it or doesn't he? I think I would like this movie because I'm kind of in that stuff. Trying to figure out. Well, anyway, it did really well this week. It did 100 and what did it do? It did. I'm gonna have to check to see what it did do. I thought I knew. I thought it did 170 million or something. Let's see what it did. That was Superman. All right. Let's see what the big number is that Superman did do. I thought it did pretty well. Come on. There we go. Oh, yeah, it did all right. It's did 407 million globally. That includes 235 million domestically and 171.8 million internationally. I think it's doing okay.
I think it did.
I think they'll be able to pay for the pay the cast. Jeez, that's amazing. It did all right. I think it's considered a success. Soars over 400 million globally. That's great. Well, I guess they're not going to have to worry about paying the crew, and they'll probably make another one, I would imagine. So who cares what that other guy thinks? All right.
Well, who cares for critics?
Yeah, most of the time I don't listen to critics anyway. Netflix is using AI to cut costs and save time. Nobody's surprised about that. It said the film juggernaut used visual effects created by AI for the first time in one of its original TV shows. Thanks to the technology, creating a sequence of Eternaut became 10 times faster and financially feasible. The announcement came as Netflix reported over $11 billion in revenue last quarter, 16% rise compared to the same period last year. I think they'll be okay.
Sounds that way.
Yeah. Snoop Dogg is now an owner of a soccer team. I don't understand. Not even American soccer team. He's buying a Welsh soccer team. He's become the owner of the Welsh football soccer, I guess, is football, in an unlikely alliance between rap and professional soccer. The 53-year-old rap icon joins former Real Madrid steward and Croatia World Cup finalist Luke Modric in the club's ownership structure. Snoop made a surprise appearance on the club's social media last week with their new home jersey for the 25-26 season, and the club announced Thursday he had become an investor. His involvement comes after an American businessman, Brett Kravitz, and Jason Cohen took over the club last November. Jeez. I mean, I guess if you're Snoop Dogg, you have a lot of money to throw away. So, I mean, not that they'll throw that away. I don't know. I think it's interesting.
He'll probably make money hand over fist.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just because it's not that big in the U.S. doesn't mean it's not that big. You know, it's just I find it interesting that he would spend money. I would have thought that he would have spent it on an American team of some kind, you know, whether it be basketball or football or something. But who knows? Who knows how much he spent too? Because I mean, you know, if he spent a lot of money. All right, then we got Fantastic Four is going to be released shortly. They've rebooted that a number of times, and I don't really know where it's going to go from here because it seems to keep coming out and not being very good. But I don't know. I've always been a fan of Fantastic Four, but it just doesn't seem to, doesn't ever seem to take off. Its opening is expected to be about 200 million, which would be good. Let's see if that's a possibility. See when it's coming out. Smelling salts, yeah, back, okay. I'm thinking it's probably coming out this weekend. I always liked the Fantastic Four. I mean, even the reboots that I saw were interesting. I wouldn't want to be the Rock guy because he's got to wear the most stuff. He's got to wear that real heavy gimmick. But
Yeah.
I think it'd be. Did you read the comic books by any chance?
Wasn't in the comic books.
Yeah, I wasn't into a lot of comic books, but I think I like. For some reason, I think I read that. Not sure. I think I did though. All right, let's see here. Wrong button. Done. All right, next. Oh, that's all I've got for entertainment. Didn't have a lot for entertainment, but I got a lot of stuff yet. We can do. What do I got here? Oh, I know what I did. I segmented Trump and Elon to their own page because I kept getting all these different Trump things and I couldn't put them all together because I wrote them down at the wrong, at a different time. So I decided to give Trump his own page, Elon his own page. Then I can put all the Trump stuff together and all the Elon stuff together. So that's why it was a short page. Secret Service suspends 6 agents without pay for up to 42 days after near a year ago, the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. So those 6 guys got suspended and stuff without pay. But I had read something about, I don't remember what, I hope I wrote it down. Let me see here. I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, do you think they should have been suspended?
I think there were so many mistakes made. Somebody should have gotten suspended.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that because that guy was adamant about trying to kill him, and I just think that I don't know what the right thing to do is for something like that because nobody wants. Well, somebody wanted to see him killed, but you don't want to see your president killed. I just thought it was weird. But it was weird to think that they took that long to suspend the people. It says here that the Secret Service suspended 6 personnel without pay as an agency faced intense scrutiny after the assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, nearly a year ago. Matt Quinn, Secret Service Deputy Director, told CBS that their penalty ranged from 10 to 42 days of leave without pay or benefits. The personnel were placed into restricted duty or roles less operational upon their return. So those guys not only, got suspended, but they're not going to get their same jobs back, apparently. And it talks about, of course, that the gunman was killed and all that stuff. Then there was an article about the other guy that tried to, I guess the golf guy, remember the golf course guy?
Yes.
There's an article about him, too. He's going to defend himself in court. Shows he should probably just be put away in the mental institute because he's still making bad judgment calls. Oh, man. Yeah, man accused of attempting to assassinate Trump wants to represent himself in a Florida case. Get ready for a long stay in prison. That's the way I look at it. Oh, boy. Charged with it, yeah. It's just crazy. I just can't imagine. There's nothing that I firmly believe in bad enough that I want to put myself in jail. So, yeah, I'm sure he thought he was doing the right thing. All right. So the tariffs. Trump announced 30% tariff on European Union and Mexico Saturday. Barring any agreement, any tariffs are scheduled to go in effect August 1st. The European Union is the single biggest trading partner with total trade approaching $1 trillion. That's a freaking lot of money. Trade with Mexico approached $840 billion. Collectively, goods from the EU and Mexico make up to 1/3 of the U.S. imports. Did you know that?
Yeah.
That we have that much from Mexico?
Yes.
Wow.
It's our biggest partner, or second biggest trading partner.
See, I didn't know that. I knew that we did trades, but I didn't realize that they were worth that much money. Wow. That's crazy. Trade with Mexico approached $840 billion. That's unheard of. I mean, well, I guess it's heard of because I just said it. But that seems like seems really high. But I guess that shows what I know because I never thought about that. I still don't think in volumes of trillions. So, let's see. Donald Trump announces plan to sell Patriot air defense systems, other weapons to Ukraine, paid for by the European allies. Trump threatens tariffs on Russian goods if the peace deal is not reached within 50 days. We don't do a lot of stuff with Russia, do we?
Not anymore.
Okay. The Times, Trump's name appeared in Epstein files for the DOJ has already been released. So let's see. I thought his name, I thought he said his name, or his name wasn't in there at all, but it's mentioned 9 times across the hundreds of pages. I don't see, the thing is, at this point, do we really care?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that was I want to say that. I want to say that. I bite my tongue when I'm saying this. That was a different Trump.
Well, he says he was just friends with him, got mad at him, and defriended him years ago.
Okay.
But the Wall Street Journal has a letter of which Trump pretty much is praising Epstein. And Trump denies that he wrote the letter and is suing the Wall Street Journal for millions of dollars.
Oh yeah. I read about that somewhere. Yeah. Jeez. I wonder if Trump is the first president that has sued everybody.
He won the 60 Minutes.
Yes, I couldn't believe that. That's crazy. Well, that's what happens when you have high-powered lawyers.
He won for $36 million.
Oh, that's just chump change to him. Says vast majority of the documents in phase 1 have been released and made public through the prosecution of Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell, or through civil lawsuits, including flight logs from Epstein's plane and a redacted version of Epstein's so-called Black Book of Contacts. Trump's name appears in both the flight logs and the Book of Contacts. Jeez. But I mean, it doesn't say that Trump did anything. He probably did, but it doesn't say he did anything. Could he be impeached for something like that?
For the suggestion of it,
Yeah.
there's proof, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but chances of getting proof. How old? I mean, those Epstein was a long time ago, wasn't he?
Wasn't that long ago, but it's not recent.
Yeah. Seems to me. Well, I don't know how long ago it was. Time just gets away from me. I can't remember things. So that's all the Trump news I have. I have some interesting. I'll put this in Elon news because I got a phone call from Tesla. You know, they're informing me that my lease is up soon, which I already knew, and wanted to take my order for my new lease. And I said, well, there won't be a new order. And he said, why? I said, because I'm not going to lease any more cars because you guys won't sell me my car. I want my car. I want the one that I've been driving. So the guy said, well, I can get you your car if you want your car. So he gave me a price of what it will be. And I thought about it, and I've seriously thought about it. But then I thought, I'm going to look to see what else is out there. You never thought you'd hear me say that because I'm a Tesla. I love Tesla. However, I saw an article, and it talks about a car that gets 515 miles to the charge. Well, now that got my interest. That means I probably only have to charge one time to go to Florida. From here to Florida would be about one charge. Now that's interesting to me. And I've been looking at, so it's a Lucid, the Lucid EV. The Lucid Air Touring gets 500 and some miles to the charge, and these are real miles, they're not Tesla miles. They're real miles. Because the reason it caught my eye is someone with a Tesla Air got 749 miles to the charge. Now he must have really babied that to get that. 749 miles. That would be that makes it. Cars don't get that. Trucks don't get that. That's a lot of miles. That's more than I can hold it in. In other words, I go to the bathroom when I charge my car. That means I wouldn't have to pull over as often. So that caught my interest. So I've been doing a little research on it, and they've got that's for their car. It's a really nice car, really, really, really nice car, and it's on par with what the Model X sells for. So it caught my interest. Then I thought, well, okay, I kind of want something like the Model X because sometimes I need to haul stuff, sometimes I need to sleep in it. So I thought, let's see what else they got. So they got a thing called a Gravity, and that Gravity gets 450 miles to the charge. That's still pretty darn good because cars don't get that. Gas cars don't get that. So I've been doing a little research on that, and it's got my interest. I hate to leave Tesla, but maybe it's time to look at what that is. So I emailed that to the guy that works for Tesla saying I might not be getting a Tesla after all because I'm looking at this. And he came back to me saying you'll come back. You'll be back. I don't know why. He's really cocky about it too, and that doesn't make me jump. I mean, I just think that you shouldn't be that cocky. You do have a good car, but it's not. There are problems, and I told him that I didn't want to lease it because, I don't have anything at the end of the lease. You think the money that I spent on that car for the past couple years, That's all gone. So that makes me think that maybe I should not lease anymore, because you don't get to keep the car. I mean, you do if you talk to the guy and the guy's interested in selling you the car. But, you know, if I last time they made me pay a lot of money to give up the lease, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I thought about buying my car so that I can. One of the things is thinking about buying my car so that I have something for a trade in. But how much will I lose if I buy that car? How much has, you know, I need to do some really serious thoughts on this, because I hate to.
Everybody I talked to that at least ended up paying.
Mhm. And they get you for every scratch on the car. And last time they got me pretty heavy. So I don't know. It's a tough question, but I love Tesla, but everybody's getting ahead of them on the range, and I would have thought that should be something they should jump on. And they're not updating the X really overall, as far as I'm concerned. But of all the cars that they have, the X and the S are the only two that have the turn signal blind spot in front of you. All the other ones, you got to look to the right. And if I'm wanting to go into the left lane, I don't want to look to the right. I want to look to the left. That's why those are really good that are in front of me. I don't know. I got to do some serious thinking about it. But all right, so that's my thoughts on that. Tesla's going to hold their annual shareholder meeting November 7th. There's an investor pressure. It comes 4 months past the deadline under Texas law where Tesla is incorporated. So you got to get in there and you got to get that shareholder meeting. I actually have a shareholder meeting with my wrestling business too. Since we're incorporated, we got to have a shareholder meeting. We had our first one a couple weeks ago. So Ford recalls over 850,000 cars due to a potential fuel pump failure. Why did I put that in there? It's not a Tesla thing. That's a gas car. We don't talk about gas cars. Delete. Okay. Now they're going to put Grok in the new Tesla cars. And actually, I may have gotten the update today. So I haven't tried it yet. So I need to check that out because I just updated my car. I hope I got it. It's supposed to be pretty cool though. Says here, adds Grok to newer vehicles and software update follows the release of XAI's latest version of the flagship large language model chatbot not capable of issuing commands to the vehicle. So they're going to have it so that you can say to Grok to turn on your turn signals and it'll do it, or you can tell it to turn right and it will do that, I guess. But they're not at the point where they're just going to introduce it for now. It'll probably give you things like where's the best place to eat and stuff like that now. I got a question. If a tree falls down on a Tesla in the woods, would it crush it if it was alone? You're saying what? You're saying what the?
What's the trick?
It's actually a question. It is pretty good. It's once you see this. No, it probably won't be there now. Let's see. There it is. There's the Tesla. Now there's a guy cutting down a tree. So there is a method to my madness. So the question is it going to be crushed? What do you think?
It cuts it down, it falls successful, I think it'll be crushed.
Okay, let's find out. Here we go. It is not crushed. It is not crushed. I bet there's some damage to it, but it looks like it didn't even break the glass. I'd like to know who the idiot was who did that. Oh. You never park your car near a big tree like that when a guy's playing around with a saw. I saw that yesterday. I said, okay, that's funny. I figured it was my caption for it. Did you know they have a Tesla diner?
No.
This is really pretty cool. If you have to charge your car, why not go to the Tesla diner? And the Tesla diner, there you go. Hold on, I gotta get this thing so we can see it. Oh, come on. There you go. So this is the Tesla diner. Now they're gonna start putting these this is in Hollywood. And this is the grand opening of it. They've got basically chargers all around the diner, and they've got screens up around where you can watch movies together. So it's kind of a neat little thing. Turn that volume off, or I'm gonna get in trouble for stealing somebody's music. Where's the volume of this? Oh, there it is. Okay. So you got the there's the cyber robot. There's one of the taxis, and it's a really futuristic building. They got the newest chargers. That's what the cyber taxis look like. There's no steering wheel. And they got these big giant screens. They got apparently good food. It's futuristic. You can either sit inside the place and eat, or eat in your vehicle. They've got a, oh, this is pretty cool. The let's see if I can get this without music. Oh, come on. Come on. I bet the robot talks. I wanted to hear it talk. He gives the popcorn and stuff, and says, so yeah, they have all these accessories you can buy and gimmicks and stuff like that. You can buy a mini robot. Oh, they got the Jetsons on. They had First Responders Day. That was the first. Oh, I didn't see her on roller skates either. That's funny. So you can go, it's kind of like a retro, futuristic retro. So I kind of thought that was cool. Oh, yeah, they serve them in these mini Cybertruck boxes that open and close. Just kind of cool. Then I saw this. This is pretty cool. This is technically not in existence yet. It's called the Cyber Roadster, and that's what it looks like. That is really a cool looking car. Looks like a drag racer, you know. And then last but not least, this is the Cyber Vision. I forget what it was. Put that in yesterday. What was that? I can't remember what it was. Oh, okay. That was Elon talking. Hold on.
Sexy.
Okay.
I think in the next 6 to 12 months, we'll be doing our first implants for vision.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is cool.
Where even if somebody's completely blind, we can write directly to the visual cortex. And we've had that working in monkeys. Actually, I think one of our monkeys now has had the visual implant for 3 years. And at first it'll be relatively fairly low resolution, but long term you would have very high resolution and be able to see in multispectral wavelengths. So you could see an infrared, ultraviolet radar, like a superpower situation. But like at some point, the cybernetic implants, I think in the next 6 to 12 months, we'll be doing our first implants for vision, where even if somebody's completely blind, we can write directly to the visual cortex. And we've had that working in monkeys. Actually, I think one of our monkeys now has had the visual implant for 3 years. And at first it'll be relatively fairly low resolution.
So now what do you think of
at first it'll be relatively
this?
fairly low resolution.
I mean, getting implants into your eyes so you can see. How cool is that?
It is cool.
I mean, talk about a guy who
very, very futuristic and very cool.
It's very cool that a man like Elon puts together things that save people. And I just, when I heard about this, I thought that would be awesome if we could get stuff like that so that you don't have to wear glasses or anything. If you're taking somebody that's completely blind and allowing them to be able to see, that would be
incredible.
Yeah. And what if you could get rid of your glasses and just have, regular 20/20? That would be, especially if it's affordable. So, I don't know how expensive it would be, but I think it would be really cool if that was the case. So, I don't know. That's the end of my Elon news, and my Trump news. So, what do you want to? You got your stuff you want to talk about, or?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to give you a quiz.
What's that?
I'm going to give you a quiz.
Uh-oh. What's it on? Topic.
Well, it's on
long term.
Hold on, I gotta get Elon. Gotta get him off the screen here. People will start vandalizing my computers if I'm on there if he's on there too long. Okay, get rid of all the Elon stuff. All right. Let's get. All right, go ahead.
6-month report card on Donald J. Trump.
Okay.
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 So this is from BillO'Reilly.com.
Okay.
And do you know who Bill O'Reilly is?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Okay. Well, he gave Trump a report card. I commented on the report card, but we're going to see what you get.
Okay.
Okay. So the first category is the border. What would you give Donald Trump on the border? What's stopping the illegals from coming across the border?
Well, I have to give him a high rate on that because he's truly wanting that to stop. So I've never seen a president go after that with such vigor. I mean, he truly wants to stop that from being an issue. So I have to give him what is it, 1 to 10? What is it, 1 to 5?
A, B, C, D.
Oh, okay. That I have to give him an A.
Good. We're all in agreement. O'Reilly gave him an A, and I gave him an A.
Yeah.
From June From January to June of 24, over 1 million people crossed the border that we know of.
Wow.
And probably another million that we don't know of.
Yeah.
From January to June 25, we know of 118,000 that tried to cross the border, and we stopped it.
Wow. That's a lot.
Okay, so that's pretty good. Now, how about the economy?
Oh.
Okay.
This is a tough one here because I think, everything goes together. You have to take the good with the bad, but I would say, I would have to say a D.
You said D. Well, I said it's C plus.
Okay.
And O'Reilly gave them an incomplete. Unemployment is about the same.
Okay.
Is up last year. Inflation is a little lower, but about the same.
Okay.
Tariffs, we don't know enough about tariffs. We give them a grade on tariffs.
Right.
Now, downsizing the federal government, 125,000 people have been downsized. Either they've taken early retirement, regular retirement, or they've been laid off and fired. And Doge is not as high. About $79 billion. They were talking about $1 trillion in money that Doge could save. So the economy is incomplete, really. D or C is probably as good as an incomplete.
I have to say that. How much do they think they saved?
About $78 billion.
See, I think that's a win. I think that
It is a win, but they were hyping $1 trillion.
That doesn't matter. I think the idea is that I know they were hyping that, but it's still 79 billion. it's still money that can be used elsewhere. I wouldn't want to be one of the people that had been laid off or fired or whatever for this to happen, but if they were really just just absorbing an income from the government, that's the way it is. I think that I won't. I can't give a low. I can't give a low rating for that. I would say I would give him a B minus for that. I actually approve of that. I'm okay with it not being $1 trillion, but that's still $79 billion is what was wasted. We're wasting. If I let's say I made 40,000 a year, and someone came up and gave me $1,000, I'd be happy. I think that's still a good. What do you think?
Well, I think anything is good.
Yeah.
It's just what was hyped.
Well, you don't know what it is until you actually see what it consists of. You don't know what.
In other words, must overpromise.
Well, maybe he overpromised, but that could be with bad information that was given to him. The thing is, you don't know what it is until you get your feet wet, and I don't know. I think that he did a good job. I think that he was told one thing and it turned out to be another. But I think going on what he had, I still say $79 billion. Who wouldn't be happy with $79 billion? Who wouldn't be happy with a piece of that? The thing is, it's all perspective. 79 billion saved is $79 billion that we didn't have before. So I think that that's fine. I know it's not what we were thinking it was going to be, but I think 79 billion is nothing to spit about. It's still 79 billion.
Okay. Let's go to war.
No.
Ukraine. Ukraine.
Boy, I don't. Boy, that's a tough one there because I like that he's now. This is on Trump, right? This is his report card, right?
On Trump.
Okay.
Yes, his role.
I think that what he has done, I'm going to say a solid B, because he's not started any new wars, and he's trying to stop wars, and he's negotiating. And I may not agree with the things he does, but I I say that he's actively he had to step into this situation that he didn't start, and he's trying to stop things from elevating. He's being aggressive at times. He's not. I don't know what I would do if I was in that situation, but I would say I give him a B on this because he hasn't started any wars and he's tried to stop them.
Well, we're just talking about Ukraine.
Oh, just the Ukraine? I'm going to go with a B minus, but I think he's trying to negotiate and get this war done with. He's trying to,
Bill O'Reilly gave him a D.
A D. Okay.
Because he overestimated his relationship with Putin.
Okay.
But Russia.
But if I want to.
Go ahead.
Well, it may be the case that he did do that, but look at previous presidents. They didn't do anything. This is an ongoing. This Ukraine war has been going on now for how long?
4 years.
Okay, 4 years, 3 of which were under the other president, and they didn't do anything. I kind of think at least he may not be getting the results yet, but he's not like ignoring the fact that there's a war. He's out there trying to stop the war, and he's trying to stop, the Russian invasion or whatever. He's trying to stop him, and you can't. It's hard to get another guy to see your point of view when he's sure he's right, and he wouldn't be doing the stuff if he didn't think he was right. I think that I give him, like I said, I give him a lot of credit, maybe more credit than he deserves. Well, where'd you come in at?
A C.
A C. Okay, we're not too far off. I said B minus.
I gave him a C because he did overestimate his relationship with Putin when he's trying to hard as he can.
Yes. I agree with that.
And he's sending weapons to Ukraine now because he can't get Putin to the table seriously to talk about peace.
Right.
So now he's doing what Biden did, which is send weapons.
Right. But he at least tried to negotiate something out.
That's why I gave him a C. How about Iran? A, B, C, or D, or E, or F?
Trying to think what he's done.
He bombed the 3 nuclear.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I mean, I think I agreed with that. I think I would say I'm going to stick with my. I'm not going to say B minus. I'm going to say B on that.
Okay. Well, Riley gave him an A. I gave him a B.
Okay.
Because he overestimated the damage. It's not as damaged as what the initial assessment was. These assessments coming now are much more detailed and have a lot more information. So he didn't damage them as bad as what he said originally. That's why I gave him a B.
Okay.
Not
Israeli what?
Israel, Gaza, the Gaza Strip.
See, that's a work in progress. I don't know that we can answer that. I think he's definitely trying to negotiate something, but I think it's a work in progress. That's like saying, based on your first 3 paragraphs, your whole essay is this. You know, I don't think we can give an answer for that. I think that that's because it's an incomplete at this point.
O'Reilly gave him a C. I gave him an incomplete. I
Yeah.
agreed with you.
Okay, all right, good. I feel better because I was like, ooh, I don't know if I like the incomplete, but that's really all we can do because we don't have the solution and we don't have a finished product. And he hasn't given up, so we can't say that we can say what it is yet. And I think that whole area is hard to judge because it depends what side of it you're on where you sit on the thing. But I think that it's going to get. I do believe it will be done. We'll have an answer sooner or later. I don't think he's going to let it go because he's not the kind of guy that leaves things go. So we may not have an answer right now, but I think by the end of the year we may.
Well, that's how I feel.
Okay.
Okay, how about deportation?
Oh, deportation.
Yeah.
Boy, he's gone to the great extent to deport people. I'm going to give him an A- for that because I really think he's got that deportation thing down. But
Riley gave him a C plus.
Oh.
He has deported 239,000 people.
Wow.
And he has got 50,000 people in detention.
Wow.
I gave him a C plus too. The only reason why it wasn't a B or a B plus was because he originally stated he was going after criminals. And he didn't explain that not only was he going after criminals, he was going after any illegal for any reason. Mixed message.
Yeah. But
he didn't explain it very well.
I think but the thing is, I never thought that was the situation. I always believed that he was going to deport. I don't care what he says, but my belief was he's going to go after everybody, and everybody that deserves to be detained should be detained. I think anybody that's here illegally, and people are going to disagree with me on this, but I believe that people here illegally should either become legal or should get out, because there's a lot of things that we got to decide what this country is, and we have to decide if they're going to be here, they should be legal. They should be paying taxes. They should be paying into the system like everybody else.
That's second off government welfare.
Right. That's really, as harsh as it sounds, that's my belief, is that they should be pulling their own weight. And if they aren't pulling their own weight, they shouldn't be here. If they're not paying taxes, if they're not contributing to the government, contributing to the society. Now, a lot of those guys are contributing to society because they're taking jobs that nobody else wants. But that's not really contributing if they're not giving, if they're not doing their part.
Okay. Did you know that border crossings are now 90% down from Biden?
They're 90% what?
Down.
Down? Oh.
In other words, there's 90% less people coming across the border.
It happens. It happens when you put people on the border that actually are supposed to.
It's an amazing thing. Isn't it? Okay, how about woke? What would you give them for fighting against the woke culture?
I F.
F?
F.
Okay.
Well, depends how you mean that. That if you mean, do I think he should be fighting against it, or what does he get for fighting against it? It depends how you phrase the question.
Successful in defeating wokeism.
I think a D. I don't think he's good at. I don't think he's successful at it. I think there are people that are following him and are cheering him on and all that, but I don't think that what he's doing is correct. And I think that he's just Christianizing our culture and going by the letter of the law, if you will. And I think that it's just wrong. I think that there are people that are. He's hurting a lot of people in his wokeism, and I think that's wrong. So I would say, if your question is he?
Are you speaking about the trans community?
I'm talking about gay, trans, everything, everybody he's against.
Okay, take the trans out. Take the trans and gays out for a second.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, I don't know what's left.
Well, DEI, which is basically hiring blacks.
Oh yeah, I think that's. I think that I've always had, because I'm white, I've always not wanted to see that for that reason, but yet I agree with it for. I think we got to take color out of it. I think that the issue is.
I believe it should be merit based.
Yes, I totally agree.
And DEI says no, it's not merit, it's skin color.
Yeah, I think it's like where you have to hire a woman versus a man.
Right.
When you're talking about, I think interviews should be held. There's a TV show out that takes dating to a whole new level. What they do is they put the men and the women, and they never see each other, and they can't hear their real voice, so you can't tell who you're talking to. That's how it should be. You should not be able to judge someone by their look or by their beliefs. You should be able to talk to them but not see them, because
that's meritocracy.
Yeah, and when I was bigger, I didn't get jobs because, at least I believe I didn't get jobs because I was overweight, very overweight, especially when I was 468 pounds. I think that part of that was people, they don't want to hire me because I'm such a weight, and they're afraid I'd be sick, and the person, they'd be afraid that I'd die of a heart attack while I was on the job. So that was a discrimination too. Not the same as black, not the same as being a woman, not the same as being, but it's still discrimination. So I understand. I don't understand the discrimination that a person of color goes through, but I do understand the discrimination of a person of size, and that is a discrimination. What was the question? Oh, the woke. We're back to woke. Okay. So,
DEI is down. Anti-Semitism is fighting back. Colleges that discriminate on applications, giving more points to minorities than to white people, is down. Women in men's sports is pretty much turned around. The military, he has taken, now this is what you probably have problems with, but he's taken trans people out of the military.
I have a problem with it only because 25% of the military are either gay or trans, or both. And
Okay.
and we're gonna cut the people out of that are willing to serve this country, that are
He
willing.
hasn't cut gays out. He hasn't cut gays. He's cut trans out.
But that's still, to me, it's the same thing as saying black people can't get in the military too, because they're capable of doing the job, and it's like
But they
saying,
create problems when male recruits go into female training. It creates problems the same as sports.
see, the sports I understand. I understand the sports, but I don't understand how a trans could upset the military, because we're all
Training.
people.
It's in training and placement when they in barracks. That's all. It isn't that they can't do the job.
Right.
Because trans men who want to be women soldiers can do the job.
And there's
They
trans
can
women.
do the women.
There's also
They can
trans
do the
women.
job.
I don't know if you've seen trans men, women to men, but you can't tell that they're women. We're women.
Well, you can tell when it comes to fitness tests.
Well, but the thing is, the military requires a fitness test. If you can't get past that fitness test, you aren't going to get that job or get that position.
Well, recruitment is up 38% since he
Oh,
denied trans. Yes.
really? Why?
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 Because people didn't want to serve in the military with trans people. It's a very bigoted society.
That is bigoted.
We live in a very bigoted society.
That's really weird. Okay, well, if it's up and we're not going to be shorted on people killing other people, I mean, that's fine. If someone
Now,
else wants.
Colbert?
What's that?
How about Colbert?
What about Colbert?
Late night television. He was fired. The show has been canceled.
Yeah, I didn't really understand. I mean, I didn't really know too much about that. I heard he had bad ratings. I don't know if that's the case or
He
not.
has terrible ratings. He was costing the network $40 million a year.
Wow.
And lost.
I mean, those late night shows.
Trump is taking a victory out.
Oh. Okay.
So how about the national debt?
I don't know where we are on it, so I can't really.
$37 trillion.
And what were we at?
We were at $35.5 trillion. His big beautiful bill added $2.5 trillion to the debt.
Yeah, the big beautiful bill was kind of weird because there was a lot of hidden things in that big beautiful bill that didn't show
A lot
that.
of pork. It's called pork.
Yes.
Called pork.
I mean, I would say.
I gave him the deal.
Yeah, I was going to say I can't give him anything. I can't give him a positive on that because that was. I didn't agree with that bill, and it was kind of, whenever you have something big like that, there's a lot of hidden things in there, and there's a lot of things that got ugly on that. I'm going to give him an F on that because I just really was upset about some of the things that came out of that. When you're hiding stuff like that, I mean, I realize they do it all the time, but this is a big one. And he was saying how the debt's going to come down and all that. It didn't come down. It didn't come down at all. It went up. So, you failed. There is a failure there, as far as I'm concerned.
How about Jerry Epstein? O'Reilly gave him a C. I gave him a C. He said he was going to release everything, and then he didn't.
Do we know what he held back?
Everything.
How do you hold back?
Until 2 days ago. For 2 weeks, he held everything.
I can't really make anything on that because I don't know enough about that one. So I would abstain on that one because I don't know enough about it.
Okay. All right. Well, the MAGA people is divided. There are some that say I don't care about Epstein at all.
Yeah.
Don't care. And then there are people that want the feds to be transparent, and they want to know who the powerful people were that went to that island. They want the list.
I mean,
the war between the MAGA people was intense for 2 weeks. It divided MAGA.
But the problem is, Epstein. How long ago was this? This was a while ago, right? That this whole Epstein thing happened. That was like at the beginning of the 2000s.
Trump said, "I'm going to give you Martin Luther King. I'm going to give you JFK. I'm going to give you Bobby Kennedy, and I'm going to give you Epstein."
Yeah.
And he gave everything except Epstein.
I mean, it's obviously it's another failure because we didn't get what we were looking for, and I mean it's kind of a witch hunt, you know. I don't even know if it's relevant to today.
Think about this. Let's say your name is in the transcripts, but only because you had lunch with it.
That's what I'm saying. It's
you're,
not.
You're going to be ruined for the rest of your life.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's relevant because so many people, they're not. I mean, it's a witch hunt. They're trying to get people. Trying to, I don't know. They're trying to make people look bad that may not have done anything. And just because you knew Epstein, just because you hung out with Epstein, that doesn't mean you know everything about Epstein. It's like right. It's like if you let's talk about if you were a cross-dresser, okay? It has nothing to do with something else, but that could be brought up, and it could ruin your life because someone finds out that you were something else that you aren't, or something that they could destroy your life for no reason. And at this point, I mean, Epstein's been dead for how long? He's been dead for a while.
2, 3, 4 years.
Oh, has it? Is it that? Oh, I thought it was longer than that. And when were these accusations? Because the accusations that they're looking at for Trump were somewhere around 2000.
Yes. So he's probably been dead more than 4 years.
And yeah, well, I mean, I don't remember when he died. I just remember, but I just don't understand what's it going to do? What's it going to? There would be people that were at those events that would probably be happy. The ones that were trafficked in or whatever would be happy if it was resolved or revealed. I don't. Okay, say okay.
He died August 10, 2019.
Oh, it was, sir. Okay, that was okay. So here's my point. I guess I do have a point of some sort. What is they're trying to get Trump in trouble, basically. Okay? I don't think that things are relevant from then to now. For instance, Trump was a scummier guy in 2000 than he is now. He's cleaned his act up a little bit. He's trying to make a difference in this country. Whether or not we agree with him, he's made some pretty pretty drastic changes and isn't afraid to do things that politicians would be afraid to do. I don't agree with a lot of things he's doing. I do agree with some things he's doing. I don't see anyone out there that I would trust. This is going to be a weird statement. I don't see anyone that I would trust. Oh boy, I don't believe I'm saying this. That I would trust more than him right now, because he is bucking the system in a lot of ways that other people wouldn't. I like that he bucks the system. I like that he's, you want to give him a grade? Well, I mean, I do give him a grade for bucking the system. Now, I don't always agree with what his bucking is, but that's what they're trying to do. They're always shooting for him like he was last time. Last time he was a bigger scumbag than this time. At least he was louder. He seems to really care about what he's doing. I don't agree with everything, but it seems that the more he does to buck the system, the more trouble there is. And it doesn't matter if he does nothing, they would still try to get rid of him because he's not one of the boys. He's not one of their boys. So certainly wouldn't have wanted the other side getting in with Kamala, because that would have been disaster. That would have been, I can't even imagine how bad that would be. And they have no one else at this point. So I don't know why they don't have anything on him. Let him do his job. I don't agree with everything he's doing, but he's not doing. How many trillions did Biden put into the system? Did he add to the system? Probably more than 2 trillion. I'm just guessing, speculating. But a lot more than 2 trillion. Yeah, so I mean, I guess 2 trillion is a win if you're comparing it. I don't agree with a lot of things they're doing. I don't even know if I agree with the tariffs. I don't not agree with the tariffs because I'm a wait and see kind of guy at this point. And it's hurting my one business. It's hurting my one business a lot. It's hurting the guitar business because we buy a lot of stuff to build our guitars overseas. And they're all going to be, the parts are going to be more money. And they're already showing up as more money now. The wrestling business, and it's not really relevant for this conversation because we don't buy a lot of things because we supply talent. So I just think that there is a certain degree of issues that he's a problem about, but I think that like last time, just let him do his job. Just let him. If they're going to change when we get the next president, they're going to change everything back again, and then somebody's going to be a hero for changing the system back because somebody's going to want it. Hey, that's not the way we do business because Republicans or Democrats. But I just think that he's not getting a fair shake on a lot of this stuff. A lot of this crap is people just with a vendetta against him. And I just think that that's the biggest problem is that we as individual guys that aren't in the politics do not see some of the stuff that's going on. But from my side, if you disable him, who goes in there? And is he going to be better? Or do you just wait and see what? I mean, I do hate the fact that inflation is up a little. I do hate the fact that these tariffs are going to come in and who knows what happens. But I'm concerned about a lot of that. But I'm not concerned enough to say, let's get him out of there. I'm concerned more about what other people are saying that they want to do. I mean, I'm concerned that there may be more other attempts on his life, things like that. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? I mean, it's kind of it's a tough thing because there's a lot of things to consider with either side. If we were to find a way to get him out of there, who would go in? And what would happen then? And we're only not even a year in, and this is already gone. You know, it scares me that this is not even a year in. So I don't know. I just don't know. I think about it a bit, but then I also say, okay, well, we got to give him some kind of chance to do whatever he's doing, and we're doing that. But how many weeks was he in before the other side started trying to push him out? He wasn't even in 6 weeks before. You know?
Oh, I think it started the day after.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I don't think that they are giving him a fair shot, and I don't know. Like I said, I don't know who would replace him because there's nobody on either side that I would feel comfortable with. So I don't know the answer. It's hard to think about that because it's just so bizarre to think that we would even have this conversation. You don't think that happened with with George Washington. Oh, he's said we should do this. We should impeach him. You just have no leeway sometimes with some people. It doesn't matter what he does. Everyone or those certain people are never ever going to be happy, regardless of what he does. And that's the situation I feel we're on. Is that the people?
Well, I just think he's doing more good than bad.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I know there's bad things, but I think that the good outweighs the bad, and I can't say impeach him because he's.
In 6 months, he's doing more good than bad.
Yeah.
We'll see what he does.
He did more in the first 6 weeks than Biden did in 8 years.
4 years, yeah.
Or I mean 4 years, not 8 years. Just seems like 8 years, but I don't know. I don't really have a hatred. I just have a mistrust. But I have the mistrust for whoever's in there. And I don't think I mistrust him more than anybody else. I think he wants to do things differently, and that I'm okay with. I'm okay with some of the things that he's done. I think I would like it if he did it a little more professionally sometimes. I hate when I have to clench my teeth when he talks because he's going to say something that irritates me. But I don't say he's doing a bad. By the numbers I've already given you, by the grades I've already given you.
You passed the test.
I passed the test.
You passed it.
What was
with your answers? You did well.
Yeah, but what is the test?
The test was if you beat O'Reilly.
Oh, okay. I wasn't really sure. Well, yeah, but it could mean that O'Reilly's right and he's the one that's passing. I don't know that I don't think that he's right. Is he a Democrat?
No, he's an independent.
Oh, he is independent. Okay. I just don't know how.
He's a traditionalist. He's not a Republican.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm kind of curious to see if Musk's party does actually start up, because I would love to see a third party get in there and actually make a mark, because this two-system party sucks because you can't win. You can't win with it. I don't know. That's just my opinion. All right, what else you got?
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden?
Yeah, let's go.
No, not Iron Maiden. Metallica.
Oh, Metallica.
I was gonna say, don't tell me.
Yeah, but the reason that's on my mind is that's what I'm going to watch next week.
Okay, I was gonna say because I didn't study for Iron Maiden. All right, you scared me there. All right, let's bring it up here. Actually, I'm looking forward to this. Actually, I'm looking forward to this, and I'm looking forward to The Chosen, because I did actually sit and watch The Chosen. But the Metallica, that'll be good. I think that'll be really good. So let's bring this up. I already got it up here. This is a really interesting band from a lot of perspectives. Are you? You probably didn't listen. You probably don't know their music. I'm assuming.
I do know their music.
Oh, you do.
I don't. I wasn't a fan
Okay.
because I'm Southern rock kind of guy.
Okay. All right.
But I would say they're probably the most talented of the heavy metal bands.
Yes, and they're. I actually am a late bloomer on them. I did not like them in the beginning, and it wasn't till they came out with Sandman that they caught my attention. And I don't know why that was the part that, but that somewhere around that album is when I started paying attention to them. Because when Megadeth and Anthrax and Slayer and all those guys came out, I liked Ozzy, but that wasn't thrash metal, and I was really into more of a traditional heavy rock. So I wasn't really into them till much later, probably I would say the mid '90s was when I started paying attention to them. So, all right, so that's.
So that was about 9 years after they formed. Because they formed in '81.
Right. Well, I would say it was probably 15 years because I wasn't really paying much attention to them till the mid or late '90s. But I was pretty much, I thought that was. I put them in a group that they didn't belong in. The group that they now I'm still not a fan of Megadeth or Anthrax. I think they came out with different heavy metal than even Judas Priest. Even Judas Priest, I liked Judas Priest back in the late '80s. I liked them. And that's because I didn't really get it. I was into the Van Halen stuff. I was into, I don't know, Sammy Hagar and stuff like that, and I considered them the hard rock. But it wasn't until I really found how hard it could get that I started liking them. And I found their story really fascinating. It's funny because the band started out as one band and ended up as another band, and it's funny how the fights between the people in the band, created a whole different genre of music. I didn't even know that they were out as early as they were. So, all right. So Metallica was formed in '81, had a vocalist and guitarist James Hetfield, and drummer Lars. Those are the guys that were consistent in that band. Everyone else has been a revolving door, I guess.
Yes.
And they started out being like See, I didn't really like that stuff. I didn't really appreciate that. But when they got into the mid '90s, I think they refined what they were doing, and they did it better as the time went on. I don't like Anthrax. To me is just loud noise, and um, Megadeth. I'm going to get some heat for this because I know my sister likes Megadeth, but Megadeth is just, to me, just noise. I liked Metallica because they're actually somewhat um, melodic in some of the stuff that they do. And like I said, the Sandman thing was actually the turning point for me because it showed versatility for what they were doing, and that meant a lot. I didn't do any Metallica till I was actually till about 2 years ago, and but yet I'm not opposed to doing some of their stuff because some of their stuff is really really good. Um, so anyway, that's all right. So we'll talk about it. So the fast tempos and stuff like that. Um, the founding members we both said are Hetfield and Ulrich. Um, lead guitarist Kurt Hammett, and bassist Robert Trujillo, I guess is Trujillo,
Yeah, I just Trujillo.
and Dave Mustaine. Now, the interesting thing about Mustaine is that Mustaine, I think, I don't know if that's in the I don't remember if it's in the video or not, but Mustaine accused Metallica of stealing some songs of his. I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember. And that is why Mustaine started Megadeth. So, because he got fired from Metallica, and they fired, I guess, Ron McGovney and Cliff Burton, Jason Newsted. They're all former members of the band. So, but the thing that I think what makes them better than a lot of the bands like them is that Metallica was commercially acceptable. They had the commercially good songs. If you ask me to name songs from the other bands, I couldn't tell you. I can't name one Megadeth song. I can't name one Anthrax song, and I can't name what's the other one? Slayer. Those are the ones that are pretty big, but the story that's in Wikipedia though is, wait a minute, what's it say here? If you like Metallica, you have to like Megadeth, since Megadeth stole the first 2.5 albums from Mustaine. Cliff Burton died. Yeah, I understand. Well, I don't have to like Megadeth. I don't like Megadeth. I can't even name one song of Megadeth's that sounds good to me. But anyway, so Metallica's current lineup had Hetfield, Ulrich, and that's okay. So who's the bass player now? I guess that's the big question. Okay. Oh, okay. So that would be okay. So that's Kirk Hammett and Robert Trujillo. So I think those.
He's the bass player.
Yeah. So that's the current lineup. I couldn't remember who the other two guys were. All right. So the band, as far as I'm concerned, is probably the best in the breed of what's out there. But their first, their story is kind of weird in that when I read this stuff, it talks about, okay, in 2000, Metallica led the case against peer. Oh, that stuff's really cool. The really cool stuff is the Napster stuff. So where we should start is the beginning. Let's start here. Okay. So Metallica was formed in Los Angeles in '81 when Danish drummer Lars placed an ad in the Los Angeles newspaper, The Recycler, which read, "Drummer looking for other metal musicians to jam with, Tigers of Pantang, Diamond Head, and Iron Maiden." So it says guitarist James Hetfield and Hugh Tanner of the Leather Charm answered the ad. Although he had not formed the band, Ulrich asked Metal Blade Records founder Brian Slagel if he could record a song for the label's upcoming compilation album. The album was called Metal Massacre. Slagel accepted, and Ulrich recruited Hetfield to sing and play rhythm guitar. The band was officially formed in October 28, 1981, 5 months after Ulrich and Hetfield first met. The band's name came from Ulrich's friend Ron Quintana, who was brainstorming for names for a fan zone, was considering Metal Mania. That would be an interesting name for a band, Metal Mania. And or Metallica. After hearing the two names, Ulrich wanted the latter for his band, so he suggested Quintana use Metal Mania instead. Dave Mustaine replied to an advertisement for lead guitarist. Ulrich and Hetfield recruited him after seeing his expensive guitar equipment. After all, that's how I hire people too. They got to have good equipment. And so in '82, Metallica recorded its first original, Hit the Lights, for Metal Massacre 1 compilation. Hetfield sang and played both bass and rhythm guitar, while Lars played drums, and Lloyd Grant was credited for the guitar solo. Metal Massacre was released in June 14th, 1982. 1982. Wow, I was playing in Gasm then. So while I was playing in Gasm, they were making money. Well, they were putting out an album anyway. So Hetfield sang, okay, then we got, the early pressings of the band, they incorrectly spelled Metallica, Metallica, angering the band. Song generated word of mouth, and the band played its first live. Now imagine, you have a recording contract that you played on this compilation, and you haven't played out yet. To me, that's foreign. That's backwards. You're supposed to be playing out and then get a recording contract, but they actually came out and didn't play their first live performance until March 14th, 1982, in Radio City, Anaheim, California. They recruited bassist Ron McGovney, and their first live success came early. They were chosen for now. You play one job. And you get recruited to play the British heavy metal band Saxon. You have to play with them after one job. That's awesome. I mean, that doesn't happen in everyday life. So I thought that was kind of funny. Then their first success came early. They were chosen for Saxon for the 1982 U.S. tour. This was Metallica's second gig. Their second gig, they're playing with Saxon on tour. I wish I could have that kind of luck. Metallica recorded its first demo, Power Metal, was inspired by Quintana's early business cards in early '82. The term thrash metal was coined in February 1984 in reference to Anthrax's song Metal Thrashing Mad. Prior to this, Hetfield referred to Metallica as power metal. I've heard power metal before. In late 1982, Ulrich and Hetfield attended a show at West Hollywood nightclub, Whiskey A Go Go, which featured bassist Cliff Burton in a band called Trauma. The two were blown away by Burton's use of a wah-wah pedal and asked him to join Metallica. So I think that's really interesting that the bass player used a wah-wah pedal. That doesn't happen on everyday music. Let's see here. Dave Mustaine went on to found rival band Megadeth after being fired from the band in 1983. The other members decided to eject Mustaine from the band because of his drug and alcohol abuse and violent behavior just before recording sessions in April 11, 1983. Exodus guitarist Kirk Hammett replaced Mustaine the same afternoon. Let's see here. Mustaine went on to form Megadeth, and he expressed his dislike for Hammett in interviews, saying Hammett stole his job. Mustaine was pissed off because he believes Hammett became popular by playing guitar leads that Mustaine had actually written. In 1985, with Metal Forces, Mustaine said, "It's really funny how Kirk Hammett ripped off every lead break I played on that No Life Till Leather tape and got voted number one guitarist in your magazine." On Megadeth's debut album Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good, Mustaine included the song Mechanics, which Metallica had previously reworked and retitled The Four Horsemen on Kill 'Em All. Mustaine said he did this to straighten Metallica up because Metallica referred to Mustaine as a drunk and said he could not play guitar. You know, it's just those things that when you get, it's like I had one guy who was mad at me over. I asked for my notebook back. I let him be on this show in around 2010, and I lent him a computer, but I only lent it to him. We quit about a year later, and I asked for my stuff back. Well, all of a sudden, I couldn't sing. You know, Ken was the only musician in this band, and just like ripped on me. Every time that you're a musician, if you have a fight with somebody, they're always going to go right for your jugular. They're going to go for the thing you love the most. So if Mustaine is saying this guy couldn't play or whatever, it's just because there were conflicts, and everyone always says, "Oh, you're no good anyway." Let's see what else. What are things that you remember from the thing?
Well, I just remember them firing. That's the biggest thing I remember. And firing Mustang.
Oh yeah.
He was passed out on the floor before recording sessions. He was drinking excessively. He was good. Right? He was a good guitarist. He couldn't play guitar with the long.
Right.
Because he was a good guitarist.
Well,
that's what they do. You just said it. They go for the jugular. That's obviously what they did. The other thing was they were good musicians.
Yes.
But not like a lot of heavy metal bands that just get up there and make a lot of noise.
That's what I felt as far as Metallica went, that they actually played more than just loud. They actually played songs that I found were not based on just being loud. They could actually play melodic things. And maybe if I gave the other ones a chance, they would be something. But I never found an attraction to the other bands. The music I heard was just the same old stuff. But I noticed that Metallica veered from um, from the just loud strumming and speed metal that is out there, and they actually did something that was melodic and did something that sounded good and had different breaks and wasn't always the same time signature and speed and everything. Um, that's one thing I
Well,
really,
the other thing is they've lasted over 4 decades.
yeah,
You have to be good to last 4 decades.
yes. Yeah, to be in one band for that long, I mean, look at Kiss. I mean, Kiss has been, they're 50 years in, you know. Uh, they've changed members, but the two main members are still the same. And yeah, I mean, I think that I think Metallica's interesting because they didn't stick to the same old formula that a lot of those bands play. Um, you know, a lot of people that are into that style, I like to call them one-trick ponies because that's, you know, all it is speed and it's got to be fast, it's got to be loud. You know, even when I was younger, I wasn't really into that loud speed thing. Um, you know, I like people that can play with feeling, not just speed, just feeling. And I felt that um, that some of these songs that Metallica did showed range that you don't hear from a lot of these, like Wasp, for instance. I can't even name a Wasp album that made it that interesting to me. Um, I don't know. It's kind of funny watching the development, looking through this Metallica Wikipedia is one of the longest Wikipedias I've ever seen on a band. They've gone through a lot of crap, and so you know, whether you like them or not, they have stood the test of time. And now, if you ask me uh, about Metallica, I don't even put them in the speed metal thing. I don't even put them in that category um, because they do have songs that change speed several times and all that. It was talking. Let's see here. It took them their third album. It says reached number 29 on Billboard's 200 and spent 72 weeks on the chart. It was the band's first album to be certified gold, and that was in '86, and it's certified 6 times platinum in 2003. That's awesome music. And it says here, Steve Huey of AllMusic considered the album the band's greatest achievement. I think that's pretty good. Following the release of the album, Metallica supported Ozzy Osbourne on the tour. Hetfield broke his wrist while skateboarding. You know, how crazy is that? You know, you get a chance to tour with Ozzy Osbourne and you go skateboarding and you break your wrist. I mean,
You know, in sports, it's like football. They have things you cannot do.
yes.
They should have that position.
Yes.
Things you should do.
That would be, you know, they wouldn't have a problem with them doing drugs. Just don't break your bones while you're doing it.
Do as much stuff as you want, but don't skateboard.
And don't pass out on anybody's couch, you know. Let's see here. Remember, okay, so, oh, this is sad. This is really weird. And this is, I don't remember if they covered this in the video or not. On September 27th, 1986, during the European leg of Metallica's Damage Inc. tour, members drew cards to determine which bunks on the tour bus they would sleep in. Burton, the bass player, I think, won and chose to sleep in Hammett's bunk. At sunrise near Sweden, the bus driver lost control and skidded, which caused the bus to overturn several times. Ulrich Hammett and Hetfield sustained no serious injuries. However, Burton was pinned under the bus and died. Hetfield said, "I saw the bus lying right on him. I saw his legs sticking out. I freaked. The bus driver, I recall, was trying to yank the blanket out from under him to use for other people. I just went, don't do that. I already wanted to kill the bus driver. I didn't know if he was drunk or if he hit some ice, or all I knew is he was driving and Cliff wasn't alive anymore." So, yeah, imagine drawing cards to determine which bed you sleep in, and you chose the one bed of the one person that died. Jeez. That's just weird.
He drew the Ace of Spades in the documentary. He drew the Ace of Spades.
Wow. That's just crazy. And, I can't imagine Burton's death left Metallica's future in doubt. The three other members decided Burton would want them to carry on, and with the Burton family blessings, the band sought a replacement. Roughly 40 people, including Hammett's childhood friend Les Claypool of Primus, Troy Gregory of Prong, and Jason Newsted, formerly of Flotsam and Jetsam, auditioned for the band to fill Burton's spot. Newsted learned Metallica's entire set list after an audition. Metallica invited him to Tommy's Joint in San Francisco. Hetfield, Ulrich, and Hammett decided on Newsted as Burton's replacement. His first live performance with Metallica was at a country club in Reseda, California. The members initiated Newsted by tricking him to eat eating a ball of wasabi. The band finished its tour in February 1987. After Newsted joined Metallica, the band left their El Cerrito practice space, a suburban home formerly rented by sound engineer Mark Whitaker, and dubbed the Metalla Mansion, and relocated to the adjacent cities of Berkeley and Albany before eventually settling in on Marin County at San Rafael, which is north of San Francisco. In 1987, Hetfield again broke his wrist while skateboarding. I think I would have forgot about skateboarding if I did it once. Forcing the band to cancel an appearance on Saturday Night Live. Now, this is kind of interesting. I don't know. I don't think the video talked about this. In August 1987, an all covers extended play, which is an EP, titled the 598 EP, Garage Days Revisited, was released. The EP was recorded in an effort to use the band's newly constructed recording studio, test Newsted's talents, and revive the grief and stress following the death of Burton. A video called Cliff 'Em All, commemorating Burton's 3 years in Metallica, was released in 1987. The video included bass solos, home videos, and pictures. That's kind of cool. In 1989, they received their first Grammy Award for "And Justice for All," and let's see, in the Best Hard Rock Metal Performance Vocal or Instrument category. Metallica was a favorite to win, but the award was given to Jethro Tull. Could you imagine being those two bands are so different from each other. But it went to Jethro Tull for the where's it at? Metallica was a favorite to win, but was given to Jethro Tull for the album Crest of a Knave. The award was controversial with fans and press. Metallica was standing off stage waiting to receive the award after performing the song One. Jethro Tull had been advised by its manager not to attend the ceremony because he was expecting Metallica to win. The award was named in Entertainment Weekly's Grammys 10 biggest upsets list. I mean, could you imagine going there thinking you got an award, and Jethro Tull not going there because they thought they didn't win? That's got to be crazy, thinking that you're in this business for all this time and you live for awards and you think you got this one and it goes to Jethro Tull. Oh man. Let's see. This was okay. Here's I don't think they talked about this either in the video. August 8, 1992, during a co-headlining with Guns N' Roses and Metallica stadium tour at the Olympic Stadium in Montreal, Hetfield suffered second and third degree burns to his arms, face, hands, and legs. There had been some confusion with the new pyrotechnics set up, which resulted in Hetfield walking into a 12-foot flame during Fade to Black. Newsted said Hetfield's skin was bubbling like the Toxic Avenger. Metallica returned to the stage 17 days later with guitar technician and Metal Church member John Marshall replacing Hetfield on guitar for the remainder of the tour. Although Hetfield was able to sing, he couldn't play guitar. It said later in 1993, Metallica went on the Nowhere Else to Roam tour, playing 5 shows in Mexico City. It said here the band's first, they had a box set, was released in November 93. The collection contains 3 live CDs, 3 home videos, and a book filled with riders and letters. So that's kind of cool. Then there was a documentary in 2004, a documentary film, Metallica, Some Kind of Monster, that the band initially thought some of the songs in these albums were average quality. They were polished and reworked until judged releasable. To promote Reload, Metallica performed Fuel and The Memory Remains with Marianne Faithfull on Saturday Night Live in '97. Then they doubled down in '98 with a double album and did cover songs titled Garage. First disc contained recorded cover songs by Diamond Head, Killing Joke, The Misfits, Thin Lizzy, Merciful Fate, Black Sabbath, and others. And the second disc was original version of the $5.98 EP, Garage Days Revisited, which had become scarce collector's album. So that's kind of neat. Then there was the 99 when they recorded with a symphony. You heard that stuff?
Yeah.
That was good stuff. That actually sounded pretty cool. I didn't think they would ever pull off something like that. Let's see here. This was in 2000. Metallica discovered a demo of its song "I Disappear," which was supposed to be released in combination with Mission Impossible with the Mission Impossible 2 soundtrack, was receiving radio airplay, and they couldn't figure out where it came from because they didn't release it. So, tracing the source to the leak, the band found the file on Napster peer-to-peer file sharing, and also found the band's entire catalog was freely available. Metallica filed a lawsuit with the district court, Central District of California, alleging that Napster violated 3 areas of the law: copyright infringement, unlawful use of digital audio interface device, and racketeer influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, which is RICO. And Lars led the case against Napster for Metallica. He provided a statement to the State Judiciary Committee regarding copyright infringement on July 11, 2000. Federal Judge Marilyn Hill Patel ordered the site to place a filter on the program within 72 hours or be shut down. A settlement between Metallica and Napster was reached when the German media conglomerate Bertelsmann BMG showed interest in purchasing the rights to Napster for $94 million. Under the terms of settlement, Napster agreed to block users who shared music by artists who do not want their music shared. And I can't imagine anybody allowing that. Like if the Uncle Sam band was on that, we would want our money for people listening to it too. So I can't imagine, I mean, unless you're just doing it for fun. Anyway, on September 2002, an American bankruptcy judge blocked the sale of Napster and forced it to liquidate its assets. Now, Napster's still out there, I think. They're some other kind of business, but they are out there yet. At the, at the 2000 MTV Music Awards, Ulrich appeared with host Marlon Wayans in a skit that criticized the idea of using Napster to share music. Wayans played a college student listening to Metallica I Disappear. Ulrich walked in and asked for an explanation, and he responded to Wayans' excuse that using Napster was just sharing by saying Wayans' idea of sharing was borrowing things that were not yours without asking. He called in the Metallica road crew and proceeded to confiscate all of Wayans' belongings, leaving him almost naked in an empty room. Napster creator Sean Fanning responded later in a ceremony by presenting an award wearing a Metallica t-shirt that said, "I borrowed this shirt from a friend. Maybe if I like it, I'll buy one of my own." Because that's their whole purpose, was that Napster said the purpose of Napster was that you could listen to music before you buy it. And that was their whole reason for saying that it should be legal. And, you know, how many times have you bought an album where there were only one or two good songs on it, but you spent full price? Yeah. And that was their argument for saying Napster was a good thing. You know, I understand them saying that, but and now that music is different, now that music you can buy it by the song, that'll
Or
pretty
you can buy a monthly
or a subscription. Yeah,
charge, and
yeah,
you can listen to whatever music you want to listen to.
yeah. And actually, I'm gonna turn off my Sirius subscription at the end of this month because I like the YouTube music. You can pretty much have any album you want for the same for $13 a month or whatever it is, and plus you get no commercials. To me, that's worth the price, just not having commercials on YouTube. So yeah, every album I've wanted to. What?
I listen to Spotify,
Yeah,
and I can, you know, they have this thing called suggestion,
yes,
and pop it on every once in a while and play an artist you've never heard before.
sure,
You can immediately go to that artist
yes,
and play his whole set
yes,
if you like.
yeah, and that
Napster couldn't do that.
and that's what I think is really cool about, like I said, on YouTube, you get all the videos for the cost of your subscription, and it doesn't have to be music. But if you, I really got tired of, like, I'd listen to one song and then they put 3 commercials. Then I'd listen to one song, then they put 3 more commercials. Well, I can listen to all the songs I want now, and I never get a commercial. Plus, they have playlists pre-made for you. You can just, hey, that looks like a pretty good playlist. And when I'm driving around, it's awesome to have one. If you're taking a long drive, just hit a playlist and let it play. But, you know, I like the fact that I get videos or just audio. And for my car, that's awesome because my car actually has a built-in YouTube Music app, so I can put my YouTube thing right on my car. It's awesome.
Can you create your own playlist?
Yep. You can create your own playlist. You can use somebody else's playlist. Like I have my band's playlist, like the order of the songs and stuff that I can listen to and learn the songs while I'm driving and stuff. It's really cool to have that ability. So yeah, I like it a lot. Now I like it that it's videos or audio, so you can have the whole thing plus whatever movies and stuff. I think are probably, as long as it's not a current movie, I think you probably still have access. I don't know if that includes it or not. I haven't tried to do any of those, but it's really cool to have that. And it's like the other day I saw Wish You Were Here. Saw the album sitting there. I thought, oh, I haven't heard that in a long time, so I listened to it. It was awesome. So.
Well, Mike, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So on Spotify, every time you play, it sends a royalty. Every time you play a song,
Yes.
it sends a royalty to the band.
Yes.
Or to the artist.
To the label,
Okay.
probably. Probably the label.
To the label.
Yeah.
But if you're a cover band, how does that work?
Well, I mean, so you get paid. Okay, so here's the way it works. When I did my album, I had, you get paid for a couple different things. You have performance, recording, and writing. So the Uncle Sam Band, I own the rights for recording. I own the rights for the actual writing of the song, and the performance of the song I obviously have. But if you have, it depends how you word it, the contract. You might have, like if I signed, okay, a lot of these bands that got early labels did not get to keep their songs. Like Billy Joel talks about that on his commercial thing, on his documentary. A lot of the times, the person that, well, you get your writing credits, but if you don't write the contract correctly, you could lose your writing credits, or you could lose your, you should have your performance credit because you're performing on the album or whatever. But there's that. The producer should get a producer's credit, and he'll get paid too. So they split that money up so many ways. You don't get a lot of money, and you got to be careful how you sign your contract. Like if you signed your publishing away, you're screwed. Think about it. How much did the Beatles get for their catalog? Billions of dollars.
Yeah.
But the number one, do you know who the number one band is that got that sold their catalog? Do you know who it is?
Yeah.
Once I say the name, you will say, okay, that makes sense. The number one band that sold their catalog is Queen.
Okay.
And they got billions of dollars for the catalog. Billions. That's how much that somebody was willing to pay for that catalog. It's crazy stuff. If I were to sell my catalog, I'd probably get $20 versus billions of dollars. It's sad.
But the person who bought it is counting on the fact that Queen is going to be played for a decade.
So every time you hear it on the radio, whatever that number is, 5 cents or whatever it is, that goes into the till. It depends where you're at, because if you're on a radio, it depends the penetration. Well, I mean, think about how many radio stations are across the country, and how many are going to play Queen, and how many. Say it's 5 cents I don't know what it is, but let's say it's 5 cents times the millions of companies out there that are playing the music. And if you license a deal, that's a whole separate thing. Like when Disney uses one of Freddie Mercury's songs or one of Queen's songs, they pay a straight fee for that. And sometimes it's a royalty fee. Sometimes it's a straight fee. Like they'll say you can use this. Like if you listen to WWE, like if someone comes out to a commercial song, they got to pay each time that guy comes out for that song. CM Punk uses that Collective Soul song. Every time he comes out and that song is played, they're paying Collective Soul for that song, and they're playing a big amount because it's WWE. It's not like you don't listen to it just one time. You're listening to it one time with 30,000 people, so you get 30,000 times the royalties. But or they may have made a deal. If they may have made a deal saying, no matter how many times, this is what we're going to pay. You know, there are deals like that, but theoretically, yeah, that's how it works. It's
Well, because it's not just the people in the state,
right.
it's everybody watching on Mondays and Fridays.
Correct. Yes, and now that they're on Netflix, they're worldwide. They're not just countrywide. So that's
So you're playing with a cover band. You have two cover bands you're with.
yes, yeah.
If they're out playing, how does the artist make any money?
They don't, unless I pay union dues, and supposedly I've never been part of the union, but some places you have to be part of the union to play. And what happens is I pay a certain amount to be in that union, but that's not how it works. The way it works is, let's say Club Met was still here. Let's say Metron was still here, and I was playing Metron. Metron pays the union too, and they're forced to. They're supposed to tell you what cover tunes are played, what set lists are played, and they're supposed to be charged accordingly. I don't know if that actually happens or not, but that's what's supposed to.
I know in churches we
Yeah.
have CCLI,
Yes,
and we're supposed to record
yes,
every praise song that's played.
yep,
And at the end of the year, give them a report
yep.
of everything that was played throughout the year.
That's basically the
So
same
that
thing.
CCLI can pay the artist or the
Correct.
recording band.
And you're going to be charged by being part of the group.
It's a subscription.
Yeah.
It's a subscription.
They even charge people, I think, that have jukeboxes, and I think they actually charge for the. I think that's part of the. I think that's how it works, but I'm not sure.
Okay. I was just curious how that works.
Well, I know that I got okay. If you were to get on Amazon and play the Uncle Sam Band, I get royalties. And actually, when Christine and I first met, she was listening to the Uncle Sam Band all the time. How do I know? I got royalty checks. And how do I know she's not listening to it all the time? I don't get royalty checks. It didn't cost her anything to play them because she had a subscription with Amazon Music. But again, I can tell when anybody listens to it. Yeah, and sometimes somebody will find it on Amazon or find it on that one of the other, like Deezer or Spotify. Yeah, I'm on all of them, and sometimes even on iTunes. And if someone finds it and likes it and starts listening to it regularly, I get paid. So, they have to do reporting, and that's and it shows me when somebody she says she doesn't listen because she got the real thing now. See, I guess I'm easy or something. Maybe I should have, maybe I shouldn't be so easy. But yeah, that's how it works. So, holy cow, it's after 10?
It's after 10.
Holy cow. I thought we were at 9. Wow. We didn't get to anything. All right, well, let's wrap up this Metallica thing then. Let's see here. Let's see if there's a news. Okay, that was. Here's on July 19th, 2001, before preparations to enter the recording studio, Hetfield entered rehab to treat his alcoholism and other addictions. In December 4th, he left the rehab and returned to the band. He was required to limit his work to 4 hours a day between noon and 4 and spend the rest of his time with his family. Let's see, was there anything else? Download, let's see. Before the band set at 2004 Download Festival, Ulrich was rushed to the hospital after having an anxiety seizure and was unable to perform. Hetfield searched for the last-minute volunteers to replace Ulrich. Slayer drummer Dave Lombardo and Slipknot drummer Joey Jordison volunteered. That's crazy to think about, having to find last-minute people to play. But, at least they know your songs because, you have an album out that's making money, so they can at least play from learning that album. In 2006, they announced on their website that after 15 years, longtime producer Bob Rock would not be producing the band's next album. Instead, the band chose to work with Rick Rubin. Around the same time, a petition was signed by 1,500 fans, was posted online in an attempt to encourage the band to prohibit Rock from producing Metallica albums, saying he's had too much influence on the band sound and the direction. Rock said the petition hurt his children's feelings. He said, sometimes, even with a great coach, a team keeps losing. You have to get new blood in there. And let's see. 2009, the band was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And former bassist Jason Newsted, who left the band in 2001, would perform with the band at the ceremony. Initially, it was announced that the matter had been discussed, and bassist Trujillo had agreed not to play because he wanted to see the Black Album band. However, during the band's set of Master of Puppets and Enter the Sandman, both Trujillo and Newsted were on stage. Ray Burton, the father of the late Cliff Burton, accepted the honor on his behalf. Although he was not inducted with them, Metallica invited Dave Mustaine to take part in the induction ceremony. Mustaine declined because of his touring commitments in Europe. And there's a lot of, like I said, that was the longest Wikipedia entry that I had seen. They had so much stuff going on, and I hate to leave at that point, but that's really the hands-on stuff was pretty much that whole thing. They went back and forth and trying to be better, and I think they're one of the better bands out there. And certainly they have longevity. So
Because we're playing today.
yeah, and they keep getting better. I think they're a great band. Christine says, I got the real thing now. Don't need no YouTube. So there you go. Oh, man. All right. Well, we got started late, but we ended up doing the same amount of time anyway. I didn't realize it was that late already. Jeez. Wow. I thought, man, I have no entertainment stuff, and here we had plenty of entertainment stuff. That was awesome. What do you think? Oh, we didn't get to talk about. We can end up doing The Chosen next week.
Yeah, we'll do The Chosen.
I did have a couple questions on The Chosen, so I actually will. I actually found episode 2 to be. I'm not getting into too much info, but it was really interesting. They brought in some new characters.
Yes.
And Nathaniel is an interesting character.
He is a very interesting character.
So I found that interesting that he had. Actually, it was basically the episode was pretty much about him. A big piece of it was. And I never heard of Nathaniel. And the introduction of Philip as well. So I think that's going to be for good talking next time. So, all right. Well, I guess we're done.
We're done.
We pulled it off. So I hope everybody enjoyed Metallica Land. We spent the day on Metallica and Ozzy. I'm going to fix that one video so that the sound is right on it. But yeah.
I'm curious to see how many hits Ozzy gets.
Ozzy's going to be number 1, I guarantee it. And we got to. I think we're going to end up having to do another ranking thing. See what rank. I don't even know what's ranking up there, but I guarantee Ozzy will be in the top. So
yes, I think so.
And I think Malcolm will be up there too. I think the last.
Well, Malcolm's big, but Ozzy is.
Well, I mean Malcolm.
Ozzy's an icon.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting. I think it'll be interesting to see. And I actually, while we were talking, we had one on. Oh, geez. Connie Francis. We had a comment from an audience member on Connie Francis while we were on. So I didn't get to read it, but it was from a girl. Something about it was her. Some of the songs spoke to her, I think is what she said in that comment. But I was talking, so I couldn't read it at the same time. All right. Anything else you want to say?
See you next week.
That's a good thing to say. All right. I will. Let's see here. Which one is it? This one. I think this is the one. Hopefully. Got to make sure this is the right one. Nope, that's the intro. Wrong one. Be this one. Outro. There we are. Okay. Anyway, I will talk to you next week, and same bat time, same bat channel, and all that fun stuff. So. Okay, where's that? Play. There it is. Talk to you guys next week.